Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast. Ozcast. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Welcome in, everybody, to a deep dive into what's going to be a seriously electric showdown, the ICC Champions Trophy 2025 final, India versus New Zealand. Picture this. You're right there in the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, Sunday, 1 p.m. local time. Can New Zealand pull off an upset, or will India just continue to dominate?
I think it's going to be a really fascinating clash of styles. And you know what makes this final so interesting is that it wasn't supposed to be here.
Oh, really?
Initially, Pakistan was slated to host the whole tournament, but because of the political tensions between India and Pakistan, they moved all of India's matches, including this final, to a neutral ground here in Dubai.
Right, a last-minute venue change. So how big of a deal is this home field advantage, even if it's technically a neutral venue? I mean, India's basically had a homestand for this whole tournament.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a factor. You know, familiarity with the pitch and conditions can be a real game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
But New Zealand, they've shown incredible resilience throughout this tournament. You know, overcoming some really tough challenges in Pakistan to make it to the final, so they won't be phased easily.
Okay, so let's break down each team's journey to the final. New Zealand had a much tougher road, right? Playing their initial matches in Pakistan.
Absolutely. They had to adapt to different conditions and face some really tough opponents early on. I mean, their victory over Pakistan in the semifinal in Lahore, that was a real testament to their fighting spirit and their ability to adapt.
Yeah, for sure. Whereas India just kind of sailed through the group stages undefeated here in Dubai. Do you think that this contrast in their journeys will play a role in the final?
It's hard to say for sure, you know, but I think New Zealand's experience of playing in different conditions and overcoming that adversity might give them a mental edge. They've proven that they can handle the pressure.
Right. Yeah. All right, time to meet these titans. So for India, we have the legend himself, Virat Kohli. It feels like he's back in top form after a bit of a dry spell.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kohli's performance in this tournament has been just vintage. He seems to have rediscovered that hunger for runs, and his ability to just control the tempo of an innings. His record against New Zealand is phenomenal too, which will definitely be adding to their worries.
And then there's Shubman Gill, the world's top-ranked ODI batsman. This young guy is on fire. He's just consistently racking up the runs. What makes him such a scary opponent, especially for New Zealand?
Well, Gill's technique and his temperament are exceptional for someone his age. He doesn't seem to be fazed by any bowling attack. He's especially strong square of the wicket, which is a huge danger for any team on a ground like Dubai where the boundaries are relatively short.
Yeah.
New Zealand's going to have to find a way to keep him quiet early on.
And let's not forget about the mystery spinner, Varun Chakravarthi. He really bamboozled New Zealand in their previous encounter in the group stage, right?
Yeah, his 5-wicket haul in that match was a real turning point.
Yeah.
His ability to vary his pace and trajectory makes him so difficult to read, especially on this slow Dubai pitch, which tends to offer a bit of assistance to spinners.
New Zealand's batsmen are going to have to do their homework on him for sure. Now onto the Kiwi side, we have the always reliable Kane Williamson, their captain and a master batsman. I'm always so fascinated by how he just approaches every match with the same calm demeanor, no matter how much pressure there is.
Yeah, but Williamson's a master at reading the game and adapting his approach accordingly. He's a brilliant tactician, both as a captain and as a batsman. What makes him so dangerous is his ability to absorb that pressure and build those partnerships. He's really the glue that holds that New Zealand batting lineup together.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. New Zealand has got Matt Henry, the tournament's current leading wicket taker, but he picked up a niggle in the semis. So will a recent injury keep him out of the final?
That is the million-dollar question. Henry's been absolutely crucial to New Zealand's success. He's got this uncanny knack for picking up early wickets, which is so important in a big game like this. So if he's ruled out, it's a massive blow for them.
Oh, man, do we have any word on potential replacements if he doesn't make it? I'm dying to know.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation. Doug Bracewell is a likely option. He's got experience and can swing the ball. They might also consider bringing in Kyle Jamieson for his extra pace and bounce, but replacing a bowler like Henry, especially in a final, it's never easy.
All right, and we can't forget about Mitchell Santner, their crafty all-rounder. How crucial do you think his left arm spin and lower order hitting will be on this Dubai pitch?
Santner's role is going to be absolutely vital. Not only can he contain runs in the middle overs, which is key against a strong batting lineup like India's, he can also contribute crucial runs down the order we saw just how valuable his batting can be in that semifinal against Pakistan when he scored a quick-fire 40 to help New Zealand reach a competitive total.
So let's talk tactics. What are some of the key matchups we should be looking out for in this already epic duel?
Well, from India's perspective, containing Kane Williamson is going to be key. He's the backbone of that batting lineup, and if he gets going, it could be real trouble for India. I wouldn't be surprised to see them employ a leg side field against him early on, trying to cut off those scoring options and build some pressure.
So basically trying to force him into shots. He's not as comfortable with force and error.
Exactly. And then on the other side, New Zealand is going to be desperate to get Shubman Gill out early. He's been in such phenomenal form, and he can single-handedly take the game away from them. So I expect to see them target him with their best swing bowlers right out of the gate, trying to get him out before he really gets set.
It's like a chess match. Each side's trying to anticipate and counter the other's moves. What about the battle of the spinners, Chakravarti versus Santner? That should be a good one to watch.
Yeah, it's a real clash of styles.
Yeah.
Chakravarti with his mystery and variations, and then Santner, who relies more on accuracy and guile. And the Dubai pitch, as we've talked about, is likely to offer a bit of turn. So that makes this matchup even more crucial. Whoever can control those middle overs will have a huge say in the outcome.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. We can't forget about the subplot in this final. New Zealand's rising star, Rachin Ravindra, actually has Indian roots. His dad moved to New Zealand from India before Rachin was born. So facing the country of your heritage on the biggest stage in cricket, talk about a storybook moment waiting to happen.
It's a fascinating narrative for sure. It definitely adds another layer to this already captivating matchup. And he's going up against Hardik Pandya, one of India's most explosive all-rounders.
Yeah, Pandya brings some serious power to the Indian side with both bat and ball. How do you see this particular duel playing out?
Well, it's youth versus experience. Ravindra is still relatively new to the international scene, but he's shown remarkable composure under pressure. Pandya, on the other hand, has been there and done that. He thrives in those big pressure moments. So I think it would be a fascinating contest if Ravindra can handle Pandya's aggression and play his natural game. I think he could have a big impact on this final.
Okay. Stepping back for a second beyond these individual battles, what do you think each team needs to do strategically to claim victory?
I think for India, it's all about maximizing their batting firepower. They have such a deep batting lineup that their top order needs to lay a solid foundation. They can't afford to lose early wickets, especially against a bowling attack, as disciplined as New Zealand's if they get off to a good start. I think they'll be very difficult to beat.
And what about New Zealand? They're going in as the underdogs. What's their key to pulling off an upset?
Well, for New Zealand, I think it's all about taking early wickets. They need to put pressure on India's top order and not let them settle. Their bowling attack is definitely capable of doing that, especially if Henry is fit. And they also need to bat with a bit more freedom than they have in previous matches, against a quality bowling attack. Like you can't afford to be too conservative. They need to take some calculated risks and really put some runs on the board.
You mentioned Matt Henry again. I know we keep coming back to this, but his fitness really seems like it's the big X factor for New Zealand. What sort of tactical adjustments do you think they might make if he is ruled out?
Well, if Henry's unavailable, it really throws a wrench in their plans. It's a huge loss.
Yeah.
They'll likely go with Doug Bracewell as a like-for-like replacement, but he doesn't quite have that same wicket-taking ability, so they might have to get a little creative with their bowling changes. Maybe use Williamson's off-spin a bit more, or even consider bringing in a part-timer just to break up the rhythm of those Indian batsmen. It's a tough situation to be in for sure.
Let's move beyond the boundary for a minute. The Champions Trophy holds a pretty special significance for New Zealand. Their only ICC title came in this very tournament back in 2000 against India. No less so could history repeat itself.
Wouldn't that be something you would definitely add to the drama?
Yeah.
I think this New Zealand team has the potential to emulate that 2000 side. They have that same fighting spirit and a real knack for peaking at the right moment.
And just to add to the intrigue, this final is going to be played at the same venue where New Zealand won their only Champions Trophy title 25 years ago, the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Is this a good omen for the Kiwis?
Who knows? Maybe it is destiny. But in all seriousness, I think both teams will approach this final with a clean slate. What happened 25 years ago won't have much bearing on the outcome of this match.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to who plays better on the day.
All right, so we've talked about the journeys, the key players, those crucial matchups, and even delved into some historical context. But now let's get down to it. The Dubai International Cricket Stadium is packed, the atmosphere is electric, the first ball is about to be bowled. What does each team need to do to walk away with that trophy?
Well, I think for India, it all comes down to execution. They have the talent, the home advantage, and all the momentum, but they can't afford to get complacent. New Zealand has a real knack for pulling off those upsets. So India needs to bat with discipline and intent, build those partnerships, put up a big total, and their bowlers need to strike early, put pressure on those Kiwi batsmen. If they play to their potential, I think they'll be really tough to beat.
And what about New Zealand? What are their keys to victory?
New Zealand needs to play with freedom and belief. They're going in as underdogs, so they've got nothing to lose. They need to embrace that underdog mentality and just come out swinging their bowlers. Need to exploit any early movement in the pitch, target India's top order if they can pick up a couple of early wickets that could change the whole complexion of the match. And then with the bat, they need to be fearless, they need to take some calculated risks, and really put the pressure back on those Indian bowlers.
Okay, let's have some fun. If you were a betting person, where would you put your money?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. This is such a tough one to call. Both teams have a genuine shot at winning. I mean, on paper, India are the favorites. They've got the experience, the home advantage, and that formidable batting lineup. But New Zealand has shown us time and time again that they can't be underestimated. They have a real knack for rising to the occasion in these big tournaments if Matt Henry is fit. I think they have a real chance of pulling off an upset.
So it all comes down to Henry's fitness. Talk about a nail-biter.
It's a huge factor for sure. But even without Henry, New Zealand is a dangerous side. They've got a strong bowling attack, a very capable batting lineup, and a captain who just knows how to win big games.
I don't know about you, but I am so excited for this match. It's going to be a clash of styles, a real test of nerves, and a showcase of some world-class cricketing talent.
I couldn't agree more. This has all the makings of an instant classic. Two evenly matched teams, a historic rivalry, and the weight of a Champions Trophy final. It doesn't get much bigger than this.
And for you, our listener, imagine yourself right there in the stands, the roar of the crowd, the tension as each ball is bowled, the thrill of witnessing history in the making. Who are you rooting for?
Whether you're cheering for the men in blue or the black caps, one thing's for certain, you're in for an unforgettable cricketing spectacle, a true battle for the ages that'll be talked about for years to come.
So there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know to fully appreciate this epic Champions Trophy final. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is one you won't want to miss.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.